I am Mrs. Sonia from Mithagar MPS School, Mudul. We were revising the lesson that is the periodic classification of elements. So just take a quick revision of the topic that we have studied yesterday. Okay. So we have seen the contribution of the different scientists toward the classification of elements. So from that, we have studied about the Doberener's triad. So we know that what he has done, he has classified the elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses into the group of three elements, and he called them as the triads. Okay. So according to him, in each triad, the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to the average atomic mass of the other two elements. Okay. This also we have seen with some example of the triads, and this is very important. This type of question can be asked for 2 marks in the exam. Then afterwards, we have studied about Newland's law of octaves. So what he has done, he has arranged the elements in the order of increasing atomic masses. Okay, and he called them as the octaves. So according to that, the property of the eighth element and the first element was similar. Now there were some limitations to this Newland's law of octaves that also you have to study. Okay, so it was only applicable to the few elements. It contained only 56 elements, and he assumed that only the 56 elements existed in the nature and no more elements would be discovered in the future. So these are some of the limitations of the Newland's law. Then afterwards, the next scientist was the Mendeleev's. So according to the Mendeleev's, the properties of elements are the periodic functions of their atomic masses. So he arranged the elements in order of their increasing atomic masses. Then merits of the Mendeleev's periodic table and demerits or defects of the Mendeleev's periodic table, that also you have to study. Okay, so in merits you can remember that atomic mass and the property was the fundamental basis of classification, and second more important thing was that he left some spaces vacant to the elements which will be discovered in the future. He also predicted the properties of some of these elements. Then there was the separate position for the inert gases which were discovered later. Okay, so these were some of the merits of the Mendeleev's periodic table. Then defects or the demerits were that some of the elements were not arranged in the increasing order of their atomic mass. Okay, so we have seen that cobalt is placed before nickel, tellurium is placed before iodine. Then a very important thing that the position of the isotope of element was not clear in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, then afterwards we have studied about the modern periodic table. So according to this, the properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic number. So he has arranged the elements in the increasing order of their atomic number. Then we have studied about the modern periodic table. Student, this is very important to study the modern periodic table. If you study this table properly, you will be able to answer any type of question based on the periodic table. Okay. So we have seen yesterday that this modern periodic table, it is having the 18 groups, 18 vertical groups and 7 horizontal periods. Okay. So here everything we have studied, how the elements are arranged in each and every period, or how the elements are arranged in each and every group. Then here this table will show you. This is a colorful table, so you can very properly you can observe the elements, which elements are placed in which block. Okay, like alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, transition elements. Then where are the halogens? Where is the place of the noble gases? Then where is the actinide and the lanthanide elements placed? Now here, this periodic table, it indicates the 4 blocks. Okay, S block, D block, P block, and F block. Okay, so S block, it contains the alkali and the alkaline earth metals. So D block mostly contains the transition elements. So P block contains, if you see properly, it has some of the metals. Metalloids are there. Then non-metals, halogens are also placed there in 17th group. In 18th group, you have the inert gases or the noble gases. Then the F block elements, it is the lanthanide and the actinide series. Then here, now this picture, it shows the trends in the periodic table. Okay, so here we have to consider some points. Okay, now here you can see the arrows are indicating the trends of some of the properties, like if we consider the atomic radius. Okay, then metallic properties, non-metallic properties, electronegativity, ionization energy, number of oxidation state. Okay, so the arrow, it shows, indicates that, suppose if we consider the atomic radius, and in the periodic table, if you move from right to left, see, just see the direction of the arrow. So there you can see that while moving from right to left, the atomic radius increases, and that arrow is continued. You see that from top to bottom, also the atomic radius, it increases. Then if you consider the metallic property, that also from right to left the metallic property increases, then again from top to bottom the metallic property, it increases. Okay, now if you consider the atomic number, okay, you just see that blue color arrow from top to bottom. So atomic number and mass increases from top to bottom. Then a number of oxidation state, it increases from top to bottom. And if you consider the ionization energy, it increases from bottom to top, or you can say it decreases from top to bottom. Then if you consider the atomic number and mass from left to right, if in the periodic table, if you move from left to right, then atomic number and mass increases, number of oxidation state increases, ionization energy also increases from left to right. Here, this periodic table will give you a more clear idea. Okay, so just pay attention. First one, decreasing atomic radius. Okay, so that arrow is showing that when you move from left to right, the atomic radius, it decreases. Okay, this chart is very important. If you study it properly, you will be able to give the answers to this type of question. What happens to the atomic radius if you move from left to right in a periodic table? So if you learn this chart, you will be able to answer yes, the atomic radius, it decreases from left to right when we move from left to right in a periodic table. Okay, then second thing is increasing electronegativity and non-metallic character. Okay, so when you move from left to right in a periodic table, electronegativity, it increases and non-metallic character also increases. So we are going to study what is this electronegativity, non-metallic or metallic character, what is the atomic radius. Okay, then decreasing electropositivity and metallic character. So when you move from left to right in the periodic table, what happens to the electropositivity? It decreases. And what happens to the metallic character? It also decreases. Then second thing, when you move from top to bottom, so from top to bottom, increasing atomic radius, then decreasing electronegativity and non-metallic character, then increasing electropositivity and the metallic character. Okay, Now let us study one by one. Okay, valency. So you have studied about the valency in your previous class also. So what is valency? Valency, it is the combining capacity of the element. Okay, remember this thing. What is valency? Valency, it is the combining capacity of the element. Now valency, it is also defined as combining capacity of the atom of an element with the other atoms of other element in order to acquire 8 electrons. So students, you should know that for any atom to be stable, it should have 8 electrons in its outermost shell. Then that atom will be stable. Okay. So the valency of element is linked with the electrons already present in its valence shell and the electrons which it actually needs. Now, the atoms having 1, 2, 3 or 4 valence electrons normally lose this to combining atoms and they show valences 1, 2, 3 or 4. Okay, so the atoms which are having 1, 2, 3 or 4 valence electrons. So they are showing the tendency to lose the electrons. Okay, so if the atom loses 1 electron, so its valency will be 1. If it loses 2 electron, its valency will be 2. Okay, and so on. Then the atoms having 5, 6 or 7 valence electrons. So this type of atoms, they generally show the tendency to accept the electrons and complete their octet and become stable. Okay, so suppose a particular atom, it is having the 5 electrons in its outermost shell. So how many electrons are required to complete its octet? So 3 electrons are required to complete its octet. Okay, means 5 plus 3, it will become 8. So it has completed its octet, it will become stable. So it requires 3 electrons. So what will be the valency of such atom? It will be 3. Now suppose a particular atom has the 6 electrons in its valence shell. Now how many electrons are required to complete the octet? 2 electrons are required. Okay. So by accepting that 2 electrons, okay, that atom becomes stable. So the valency of that atom, it becomes 2. Now suppose a particular atom is having the 7 electrons in its valence shell. Now how many electrons are required to complete the octet? That is 1. Okay. So by gaining that 1 electron, it attains the stable electronic configuration and the valency of that atom is 1. Got it? So this is all the concept of valency. Now we have to see the variation of valency in a group. Now all the elements present in a group have the same electronic configuration of their atoms. They have therefore the same valency. For example, all the elements present in group 1 have valency equal to 1. Then all the elements present in group 2 have valency equal to 2. Okay, we will see one example for this. For example, the element lithium, its atomic number is 3. It is having the 2 shells. Okay, so how the electrons are filled in this shell? 2 electrons in the first shell and 1 electron in the another shell, next shell. Okay, while the next element, that is the sodium, it is having atomic number 11. So what is the electronic configuration of the sodium that we will see? That is the 2, 8, 1. First shell is having the 2 electrons, next shell is having the 8 electrons, and the third shell is having the 1 electron. So with the increase in the electron shell, the distance between the center of the nucleus and the electron present in the valence shell, it increases. Okay. Therefore, the atomic size or atom radius, it increases. Okay. Now, if you see here, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, and cesium is given. And see the atomic radius is given. Lithium 123, sodium 156, 187, potassium it is given 202, rubidium it is given 216, cesium it is given 235. Okay, so the electrons are added in the new shell. Therefore, that atomic size of that atom will increase. Got it? So here we have seen example of lithium. Okay, so here the electrons are added in the first and the second shell. Now, if you consider sodium, now in the sodium you will see that its electronic configuration is 281. So the electrons are added in the third shell. Okay, so here in the group, the electrons are added in the new shell, and therefore the atomic size it goes on increasing. Now let us see the variation in a period. Now in a period, if we consider from left to right, so the atomic size it decreases from left to right. Now in a period, as we move from left to right, the electrons are being gradually added in the same shell, which is the valence shell. Thus here no new shell is formed. So this is the difference as you move in a group and in a period. In a group, you have seen that the new shells are added. Okay, therefore the distance of the nucleus and that of the valence shell, it increases. And therefore the atomic radius, it increases. But when you move in a period, that is from left to right, the electrons are added in the same shell. Here no new shell is formed. Therefore here the atomic radius or the atomic size, it will decrease. Now let us see the example. For example, the electronic configuration of lithium is 3. Its electronic configuration is 2,1, while that of the beryllium, it is 4, and its electronic configuration is 2,2. Since the nuclear charge, that is the number of proton, increases from left to right, the electrons experience more attraction towards the nucleus. Okay, as a result, the atomic radius of the element decreases from left to right. Okay, so here you can see, as you move from left to right, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine, and see the atomic radius. Lithium it is 123, then it goes on decreasing. Beryllium 90, boron 80, carbon 77, nitrogen 75, oxygen 74, and fluorine 72. Okay, because the electrons are added in the same shell, and there is a nuclear attraction. Okay, and therefore the atomic size or the atomic radius, it decreases due to that nuclear attraction, and therefore the atomic size or the atomic radius, it decreases from left to right. So remember this thing, atomic radius or atomic size decreases from left to right, and atomic size or atomic radius, it increases from top to bottom. This thing you have to remember about the atomic radius. Now, next you have the metallic character. Now, the metallic character of the element is due to their electron releasing tendency. Okay, so the you know that metals have the tendency to lose electron, to give the electron, and by giving the electron, they attain the positive charge. By losing electron, metal atoms change to positive ions, or you can say cations. These are therefore electropositive in nature. Okay, by losing the electron, metals they attain the positive charge, and you say that they are electropositive in nature. Now just see the trend. Down the group, the metallic character, it increases because the electron releasing tendency of the atom tends to increase. So in a periodic table, when you move from top to bottom, okay, or you can say down the group, okay, the metals, they show the tendency to lose the electron. Okay, as the electrons are added in the new shell, okay, So there is a very less nuclear attraction. Okay, the valence shell is not that much attracted towards the nucleus, and therefore it becomes easy to lose that electron. Got it? Therefore, the metallic character it increases because the electron releasing tendency of the atom tends to increase. So remember this point. Now, along a period, that means when we move from left to right in a periodic table, what happens to the metallic character? The metallic character decreases because the electron releasing tendency of the atom tends to decrease. Now, why the electron releasing tendency of the atom it decreases from left to right? So the reason is the electrons are added in the same shell. Okay, here no new shell is formed. The electrons are added in the same shell, and therefore there is a strong attraction between the nucleus and the outermost shell. And therefore, as there is a strong attraction, therefore releasing the electrons is very difficult. Okay, so therefore, what happens when we move from left to right? The metallic character it decreases because the electrons are not easily loose from left to right. Okay, so remember from top to bottom, or you can say down the group, the metallic character increases, and along a period, or you can say from left to right, the metallic character it decreases. Then non-metallic character. Now, the non-metallic character of the element is due to their electron accepting tendency. Okay, non-metals, they show the tendency to accept the electrons. And by accepting the electrons, non-metal atoms change to the negative ions, or you can say anions. These are therefore electronegative in nature. Remember this thing. Non-metals show the tendency to accept the electrons, and by accepting the electrons, they gain the negative charge, and therefore they are electronegative in nature. Okay, metals are electropositive in nature, non-metals electronegative in nature. Now let us see the trends. Now as you move from top to bottom or down the group, the non-metallic character decreases because electron accepting tendency of the atom tends to decrease due to their increased size. Now, as we have seen, as we move from top to bottom, the electrons are filled in the new shell. Therefore, the electrons can be easily loosed. Okay, and there is a more metallic character top to bottom. Okay, and you can see that electron accepting tendency is not there, and therefore the non-metallic character is decreases from top to bottom or down the group. Now what happens when you move from left to right or along a period? The non-metallic character increases. As we know that as we move from left to right, the electrons are added in the same shell, and there is a strong attraction between the nucleus and the outermost shell, and therefore the electrons are not easily released. Okay, indeed it shows the electron accepting tendency, and therefore you can see that the non-metallic character it increases because the electron accepting tendency of the atom tends to increase due to their decreased size. So these things are very important. You have to remember. Atomic size decreases from left to right and increases from top to bottom. Metallic character, okay, metallic character it increases from top to bottom. Okay, non-metallic character it decreases from top to bottom, and along a period the non-metallic character increases because the electron accepting tendency of the atom tends to increase. So all these things you have to remember. Now another thing, that is the electronegativity. Now electronegativity of an element may be defined as the relative electron attracting tendency of its atom for a shared electron pair in a covalent bond with other atom. Okay, so it is also showing the tendency to accept the electron. Okay, electronegativity, it is showing the tendency to accept the electron. Okay, now in hydrogen fluoride molecule, that is the HCl, fluorine atom is more electronegative than hydrogen since it has greater attraction for the shared electron pair. Okay, now chlorine, if you see the electronic configuration, that is the 287. So in its outermost shell, there are 7 electrons. So it requires 1 electron to complete the octet and become stable. Okay, so it accepts or it attracts the shared electron pair. Okay, therefore you can see that chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen. So electronegativity of the element decreases down the group and it increases along a period. Okay, so you have to remember this: electronegativity of the element decreases down the group and it increases along a period, because along a period you have seen that non-metallic character also it increases. Okay, because electron accepting ability, it increases. Okay, now let us discuss some important questions that can be asked from this lesson. Now just see this type of question, if it is asked for the 5 marks. Okay, and the periodic table is shown and some questions are asked. So let us see which points are considered for the modern periodic table. So you should know that which points are considered for the modern periodic table. So we know that the modern periodic table, the elements are arranged according to the increasing atomic number. Okay, so in the modern periodic table, there are 7 horizontal rows called periods and 18 vertical columns called as the group. Okay, then second one, how are the blocks indicated? So we have already seen in the periodic table there are 4 blocks. And which are that 4 blocks? That is the S block, P block, F block, and D block. Okay. Now see the C question. Which elements are present near the zigzag line? Okay, so here you can see that zigzag line. And if you see the periodic table, you will see that along the periodic table, wait, I will show you the periodic table. Along that zigzag lines, you have the metalloids. And on the left side of that zigzag line, you have metals, and on the right side, you have the non-metals. So here you have that zigzag line. So along the zigzag line, you have the metalloids. Okay, and on the left side, you have the metals. On the right side, you have the non-metals. So all these type of questions you have to observe the periodic table and you can answer this question. Therefore, I'm telling you that studying of the periodic table is very important. Now, next question you have, draw the electronic configuration of the second row element of first group in the periodic table. Now see here, it is given that second row element, okay, and group first. So which is that element? So that element is the lithium and the neon. If you see the periodic table, you have in the second row and the first group, you have the element that is the lithium and neon. So you have to draw their electronic configuration. You have to write electronic configuration and you have to draw their structure. So this type of question it can be asked for 5 marks. Then this next question, see, Doberinus triads. This we have already seen, students. Like a triad will be given, then atomic mass of the two elements is given, like lithium and potassium is given 6.9 and 39.1. Then what will be the atomic mass of sodium? Okay, so how you have to calculate? Atomic mass of sodium is equals to 6.9 plus 39.1 by 2. So you get the answer 23. So this type of question it can be asked for 2 marks. Just a minute. Okay. Okay. Then here this question. An element has its electronic configuration as 282. Okay. Now answer the following question. Now you should know that 282 means it will be which element? So 282, 8, 2, 10, 12. So 12 number, its atomic number of that element is 12. Okay. So what is the atomic number of this element? It is 12. So what is the group of this element? The element belong to the group 2. Okay. To which period does this element belong? So this element belongs to the period 3. Now, with which of the following elements would this element resemble? Okay. So you have to write to which element it will resemble. So here some elements are given like nitrogen 7, beryllium 4, argon 18, chlorine 17. Okay. Now here actually the atomic number of the element is 12. This element is magnesium. Okay. So magnesium, it will resemble beryllium. But if you observe the periodic table, you will come to know. They come in the same group. So this type of questions also you have to prepare. Now what long answer questions can be asked? What are the demerits of the Mendeleev's periodic table? So this we have already studied about the demerits. So you can write the answer for that. Then discuss the trends in the variation of metallic and non-metallic properties in a period and in a group. Okay, so we have just studied about the metallic and the non-metallic properties. So you have to write that variation. Okay, so how the non-metallic character it increases from left to right, and metallic character it decreases. Okay, so what that variations we have seen that you have to write. Then just see this type of question can be asked taking into consideration the period of the elements given in the above table. You have to answer the following questions. So arrange the above elements in the decreasing order of their atomic radii. So you have to arrange them in the decreasing order of the atomic radius. So the atomic radius of few elements are given here. So which will be the first element? Now you can see here lithium. Its atomic radius is 152. Okay. So if you arrange them in the decreasing order, so the order will be lithium, beryllium, that is the 111, then boron, that is the 88, then carbon 77, nitrogen, that is 74, oxygen, that is the 66. Okay. Then see the next question. State the period to which the above elements belong. Now the above elements, they belong to the period 2. Okay. Then this you will be able to answer if you study the periodic table properly. Why this arrangement of elements is similar to the above period of modern periodic table? This is because as we move from left to right within a period, the atomic number, it increases one by one. Okay. It means that the position charge on the nucleus also increases by 1 unit, and the electrons are added to the same shell, thereby increasing the nuclear attraction and decrease of the atomic size. Then, which of the above element have the biggest and the smallest atom? So, biggest atom, if you see properly, that its atomic radius is 152. So, the biggest atom will be the lithium, and the smallest atom you see, you have 66 atomic radius, that is of the oxygen. The smallest atom will be oxygen. Then next question, what is the periodic trend observed in the variation of atomic radius while going from left to right within a period? So while going from left to right in a period, the atomic number increases and the atomic radius, it decreases. And therefore the atomic size gradually it decreases. This we have studied. Okay. Then you have give reasons. Okay. Now, give reasons can be asked like atomic radius goes on decreasing while going from left to right in a period. So this also we have seen already that in a period while going from left to right, the atomic radius decreases and the atomic number increases. That means the positive charge on the nucleus increases. Okay, and electrons are getting added to the same shell, and therefore the nuclear charge, the electrons are pulled towards the nucleus, that is also greater, and as a result, the size of the atom it decreases. So this reason you have to write. Then atomic radius goes on increasing down the group. Now here again you can write that the size of the atom is indicated by its radius, depends upon its radius. So when you go from top to bottom, that is down in a group, you know that new shells are added, and therefore the distance between the nucleus and the outermost shell, it increases. And these electrons, they experience the lesser pull from the nucleus. That means the less nuclear attraction, and therefore the atomic radius goes on increasing down a group. Okay. Then next one, elements belonging to the same group have the same valency. So this question was asked in the exam of March 20. Okay. Now see here, the valency of an element is determined by the number of valence electrons in the outermost shell of an atom of that element. So all the elements in a group, they have the same number of valence electrons. Okay, remember this. All the elements in a group have the same number of valence electrons. Therefore, elements in the same group should have the same valency. So if we consider example, the elements of the group 1 contain only one valence electron. So therefore, the valency of elements of group 1 is 1. Similarly, for the group 2, the valency will be 2. Then zero group elements, also called as the inert gases, are called as the noble gases. Now, what happens in the zero group elements? The outermost shell is completely filled. Okay, they do not require any electrons, or they do not lose any electrons. The outermost shell is completely filled, and the electronic configuration is also stable. And these elements do not lose or accept the electrons. So these elements do not take part in the chemical reaction. So this thing is very important. Therefore, these elements are gases, and they are called as the noble gases. Then next one, fluorine is the most reactive among the halogens. Now, what is the reason for this? Fluorine has the electronic configuration, that is the 2,7. So if you see here, its outermost shell, it contains the 7 electrons, means 1 electron is required to complete the octet. So it will accept 1 electron, okay, and it will become stable. And here, the atomic size of the fluorine is smallest among the halogens. Okay, hence the nuclear attraction on the outermost electron is maximum. Okay, and hence the fluorine is the most reactive among the halogens. Okay, so this type of reasons can be asked in the exam. Then 1 mark question. So these are very simple. State the Doberener's law of triads, giving one example that we have already studied. State the Newland's law of octaves. State Mendeleev's periodic law. State the modern periodic law. What is meant by the modern periodic table? Then what is meant by periodic trends in the modern periodic table? So these are all the 1 mark questions. Very easy questions. Then write short note on the position of isotope in the Mendeleev's periodic table and modern periodic table. So this thing also we have studied that the Mendeleev's periodic table, the position of the isotope was not clearly mentioned. Okay. So that reasons you will write here. Then another question that can be asked, that is the distinguish between Mendeleev's periodic table and modern periodic table. Then you have distinguish between the groups and the periods, and you have distinguish between the S block elements and the P block elements. So distinguishing points are also very simple. You can write for Mendeleev's periodic table and modern periodic table. If you consider in the Mendeleev's periodic table, the elements are arranged in the order of the increasing atomic weight or atomic mass, and in modern periodic table, the elements are arranged in the order of the increasing atomic number. Okay. Then another thing you can write that in Mendeleev's periodic table, there are 8 groups in this table, whereas in the modern periodic table, there are 18 groups. Okay. Then about isotopes also you can write. Isotopes do not find a separate place in Mendeleev's periodic table. Then in the modern periodic table, the isotope of an element can be placed at the same place as their atomic number is the same. Okay. Then for groups and periods, you can write the vertical columns of elements in the modern periodic table are called as the groups, and the horizontal rows of elements in the modern periodic table are called as the periods. Then you can write another point like the element in the same group show the similar chemical properties. Then for periods, the elements in the same period do not show the similar properties, but their chemical properties gradually change from left to right in a period. Okay. So these points you can write for groups and periods. Then S block element, P block element. So we know that S block element, the groups first A and second A. Then for P block element, the groups third A, okay, to 13 to 7th A, 17, and 0 group that is 18. It is included in the P block. Okay. Then S block, you can write they have 1 or 2 electrons in the outermost shell. For P block, they have 3 to 8 electrons in their outermost shell. Then the elements of the S block, except the hydrogen, are all metals. Then the elements of the P block include a few metals, then all metalloids and all non-metals. So these distinguishing points you can write. Now this type of question, like correlation type of question, can be asked. That also you can write. For example, Doberener's. So Doberener's, it was the triad. Okay. Then what will come for the Newland's law? So Newland has arranged elements in the form of octaves. So answer will be octaves. Then second one, Mendeleev's periodic table. So we know that Mendeleev arranged the elements in the order of increasing atomic mass. So here you have atomic mass. Then for modern periodic table, We know that modern periodic table, the elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number. So answer will be atomic number. Then group 1. So we know that group 1 contains the alkali metals. Okay. Now here they have given halogens. So we have to write that halogens are included in which group. So you have to observe the periodic table. So halogens are included in the group 17. The answer is group 17. Then fourth one, solid, iodine. So iodine, it is solid. So what will be for bromine? Bromine, it is a liquid. Okay. The next one, fluorine, its electronic configuration is 287. Then for fluorine, what is the electronic configuration? Its atomic number is 9. So its electronic configuration is 2,7. Then horizontal rows are called as the periods. Then what are the groups? The groups are the vertical columns. Okay. So in this way, you have to correlate the things. So students, we have seen the maximum important questions that can be asked, but it is very important to go through the whole lesson, read the textbook properly. This whole lesson is very important, and studying of the modern periodic table, that is also very important. By studying the modern periodic table and the position of the elements, you can answer the various types of questions very easily. Okay. So this was all for the today's lecture. Thank you, students. Ma'am.